How much do you want to spend?
I got what I wanted for.
W Flowers, Michael, if you're watching this, how much is she spending a month? Just comment below. How much are you spending a
Gerber
month?
daisies are expensive, but I said just do them
They
simple.
look like they just grow in a field and you pick them.
Oh, I know.
Like, aren't those
That's
daisies?
supposed to be a look. That's actually the look. Like I want them to
They're
look like
kind
I
of
just picked them.
country,
Yeah.
country daisies, Gerber daisies. Anyway, how much are you spending a month on flowers?
On my 1 week allowance.
$50, or is that $10? Wow. You don't get your nails done for 3 months, and now it's like, I'm buying monthly flowers. So what is your favorite flower?
Mine?
Yeah.
Gerber daisies.
That's your favorite. That's your hands down. If somebody, like for Valentine's Day, they gave you Gerber daisies, that's your like heart melt, not roses.
And I have kept that plant alive for 1 whole month now.
Your prayer plant?
Yeah.
Prayer?
I'm not sure if everybody would be excited that they kept a plant alive for a month.
I think your plant's excited.
But I
watered it the other day. What makes it a prayer plant?
Okay, but if you're watering it too much, it's gonna get brown around the edges.
Oh no.
So
what's a prayer plant? I don't think people know what a prayer
plant is. It has
plant
a fancy name, but it's non-toxic for animals, and it's kind of hardy. So it's apparently harder to get.
And what does it do? What
it
makes
folds.
it?
It folds.
At nighttime,
The leaves
it goes
go up.
like this. Yeah, it's really,
They go up.
It's really weird.
I love it.
What is, so Gerber daisies your favorite flower? Any specific color? Do they come in different colors?
Yeah.
I've only seen like reddy, orange, and yellow.
No, you can get them in any color. So
Black?
I'll just.
Can we get black ones? That'd be cool.
No. I'll just tell them what color I
pink
want when I
ones?
get them. Yeah. They come in
You
like
get pink?
bright pink. They come in all colors. You can get them in any color.
Can you
I
get
suspect they're
multicolored?
dyed. Some of them are dyed, maybe.
You can dye a flower.
I remember for our wedding. Do you remember for our wedding? No, you don't. I had purple roses and they were dyed.
Really?
Yeah, because it turned the water purple. So the water that was.
You got blueberries, and they make from the frozen blueberries from Costco, and your lips become very purple.
After
You were
I eat
eating
my
them
frozen
at 11 o'clock at night, I can tell.
Am I still blue?
A little bit.
Uh-oh.
Kind of matches your shirt.
I love frozen blueberries. It's like eating candy.
We can just say it's cold in here, though.
Okay.
So,
can I tell you?
but do you think they dye the blueberries on the package that I just read?
What does it say?
It just said blueberries. There's no dye. But when I put
really
water
blue.
in the little bowl, it was very blue.
But I think when you wash blueberries, if you like washed blueberries,
I don't think that will happen.
Turn if you dry them with a paper towel, it turns the paper towel really blue.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you have to crush
Okay,
them.
we've talked about nothing for long enough.
How about your favorite cookie?
Cookie.
I woke up thinking about cookies. What's your favorite cookie?
Is that 'cause you're off sugar?
If we could eat cookies, if you could eat cookies and I could eat cookies, like obviously we have eaten cookies, but what's your favorite
I
cookie?
like a ginger molasses cookie.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a
Is
snap
that just called
one?
gingerbread?
A snap one?
Yeah.
Like the crunchy ones?
But I would pick a bag of salt and vinegar chips over a cookie any day.
I like soft cookies.
Yes,
so they can come in a variety. So peanut butter, oatmeal. I like a oatmeal chocolate chip. I like chocolate chip. I'm not a fan of raisin.
Do you
cookies.
care less about what's in the cookie than the texture of the cookie?
But on the other hand, I could eat a package of Oreos any day with a bag of milk.
We do not buy Oreos.
I remember working at
Nor do we
Jericho
have
Road,
cookies.
and we got like sometimes you get shipments of stuff, and we had a shipment of Oreos, and me and one other fellow after every meal we would eat a row of chocolate cookies.
What?
One day at a time, one problem at a time. You can't face everything at once, you know. Anyway, cookies. Remember cookies? No, I like a chocolate. I like the Linda Sprunt. She can make cookies.
I know.
Oh.
Okay, can we talk about one other thing? If anybody watches this, if anybody's listening, I feel like there needs to be a different term for a solo parent. For a person who is parenting alone. What do we call that?
Man, we took a hard left from cookies.
I know, right? I wanted some feedback. Like I wanted some input. So
serious.
I haven't done it in a couple weeks, but I had been buying groceries going grocery shopping for a couple people who they're the only parent. There's no other parent. And so
but that you could
like,
fall into a myriad of things where there's a boyfriend.
Yeah, that happens. But
a parent.
That's not the same.
There's
whatever.
An ex.
Who cares if she has a boyfriend?
I guess there's always.
She doesn't have another parent in the home. So I was just curious if there's a word for that, because single parent, like whatever. I'm sorry. I don't mean to diminish the stress of like your kids going back and forth and having 50-50.
Or
but
only parent. When
your kids go back and forth, you have like an entire week by yourself to clean your house and do your groceries and get your stuff done and hang out with your friends and
go to the club,
rest and go out and have fun. But when you are the only parent and your kids are with you 24/7, how are those people functioning right now?
You're making me anxious.
I don't understand how they're functioning right now.
And then they have to do schooling.
They're supposed to. No. Anyone that I have talked to in that position, I have said, don't worry, your children will be fine. Those teachers will catch your kids up next year. Don't stress about it. Do not fight with your children about homeschooling. Anyway, if anybody has a thought for what those parents should be called.
I think they're called
solo parents?
Solo parent. I don't know. I would have to get the thesaurus. Thesaurus. Hey, charity. June the 3rd, charity. We are having a charity event tomorrow, a virtual gala for Carlington Booch. And there's going to be some auction items. You could win Booch for a year. You could have your face on a label. And what else? Starter tea kits. And we do like a group brewing together. So you could brew your own tea from home, and it's a little class.
Or you can just come, sign up, register, come, because like to bump up our numbers, we want more people there.
Yeah, bump up the number. That's what it's all about.
And just come and hang out and hear some stories.
Yeah, and it's going to be streamed on YouTube, so you would have to register. I'll put the link in the post, and then just register. And it's on YouTube, and then you would have your phone, so it's like a multi-screen thing.
Oh boy!
And one part is for the auction and donating, and then the other part is like the YouTube stream. So there's going to be some stories and impact stuff that we've had, highlights of 2020, that's a highlight.
But it's going to be under an hour long.
Yeah.
Under an hour, you promise.
I don't promise that, but it will be around an hour. Yes.
Oh, you're not running it. The auctioneer is running it.
I'm involved in it.
She's legit.
She's legit.
Emily. Emily, you're
Emmy.
legit.
Emmy. And she's in San Fran right now. Oh, and her husband's
Does she live in Oakland? I thought
she lives
in Oakland.
She doesn't live in San Fran,
okay.
but the other Susie lives in San Fran. Anyway, tough stuff going on there. Charity.
All right.
Clarity of charity. We need healthy boundaries about receiving money, and we need healthy and spending your allowance on flowers.
There's nothing wrong with spending your allowance on flowers.
And we need healthy boundaries about giving money.
Ooh.
Some of us give money for inappropriate reasons. We may be ashamed because we have money and don't believe we deserve it. We may belong to an organization that uses shame as a form of control and coerces us out of our money that the organization wants. We can get hooked into giving money to our children, family members, or friends because we have earned or unearned guilt. We allow ourselves to be financially blackmailed, sometimes by the people we love. This is not money freely given or given in health. Some of us give money out of a sense of caretaking. We may have exaggerated feelings of responsibility for others, including financial responsibility. We may be giving simply because we have not learned to own our power to say no when the answer is no. Some of us give because we hope or believe people will love us if we take care of them financially. We do not have to give money to anyone. Giving money is our choice. We do not have to allow ourselves to be victimized, manipulated, or coerced out of our money. We are financially responsible for ourselves. Part of being healthy is allowing those around us to be financially responsible for themselves. We do not have to be ashamed about having the money that we earn. We deserve to have the money we have been given, whatever the amount, without feeling obligated to give it all away or guilty because others want what we have. Charity is a blessing. Giving is part of healthy living. We can learn to develop healthy boundaries around giving. Prayer for today. Today, I will strive to begin developing healthy boundaries about giving money. I understand that giving is my choice.
I have so many thoughts.
There are so many thoughts.
Money is like one of the biggest stressors, I think. And giving, charity, I feel like is a huge release of that stressor. When I have my finances in order. Remember when we said we wanted to stop trying to figure out where our money went? We fought about it all the time. That was our biggest fight.
Man, we could have if we wanted to get our argument, I just say, did you pay the credit card?
Oh my goodness. And the rest of the day would be blown. Yeah. If you wanted to go golfing, just ask me about the credit card. Oh my. And then you'd be like, oh, you're so mad. I'm just going to go golfing.
But the reality is, this is like, there's so much in here.
There's so much in here.
But there's the law of reaping and sowing. There's what I have a grip on actually has a grip on me. And so letting control of that, I think money, finances is a huge metric of maturity and growth. And like, I know when I went into rehab, I owed $75,000.
Oh, I know that too.
And so how do you, so my life run on its own is full of broken relationships, financial distress, and
how much do you owe now?
I owe nothing. I owe nothing to nobody.
And remember when, I think it was probably 9 years ago, we said we wanted to stop fighting about money and trying to figure out where the money went. And we learned to tell our money where to go. We
did a budget. We got allowance.
We planned our money.
Apparently you can spend your allowance on flowers, which is great.
I can.
I find that you spend your allowance very thoughtfully, and then I have to spend my allowance on you. That happens a lot, by the way. I'm a sucker. I think
you love spending your allowance.
I know for me that money's never a problem. It's the problem with a heart. And I know when I was getting into leadership in church and stuff, I remember my pastor said, I want to bring you on as an elder, but you don't tithe. And I was super offended because 3 months ago, I started actually tithing because I felt like it was, everything is God's, and God I think it's Micah, he's like, just give me a tiny little bit, this little percentage, and I'm going to blow the gates off of your storeroom and multiply and multiply. That's not why I give, but my heart says this is all God's anyway, and I just want to give it back to him. And the more I give to him, the more he multiplies it. So I remember being super hurt by my pastor saying, well, you can't be part of this team because your heart's not right. And I was like, how dare you? I've been tithing for 3 months now. Just look at your books. And he's not one to look at books, so he didn't really know. But I know that the more I've given, the more I've gotten. And I thought God corrected my money issue or my heart issue when I started working at Jericho Road for minimum wage. $7 an hour. And I'm coming from the trades. And I was like, my heart's good. And then, 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, you realize that you have a lot more to learn about money. And so I think what we have a grip on actually grips us.
But we have walked out of places where we felt like they were trying to coerce us out of our money with an emotional appeal, and that's not at all.
At the end, it says giving is part of healthy living, but we can give unhealthily. I think giving without people knowing is healthy giving, but I know people that give and go, here's this money, or I'm only giving because it feeds my ego, or there's abuse in churches and fundraising stuff where it's like, if you don't give money, then that's what I mean. There's so much in here.
There's so much in here.
Our friends at More Than Enough has actually based a business around this.
Yeah.
And we've worked with them to get financially free. I've sent people to them working with addictions that owe money. One guy that I'm thinking about in particular, everybody thinks they need to go bankrupt after they owe 12 grand or something. And so I said to him, like, go see these people. And they consolidated everything for him, and he's debt free too. And there's such a blessing. Debt is a curse.
It really is.
And it's a burden and a weight.
But being able to pay attention, having the wherewithal to pay attention to our money, pay attention to where it's going, and actually look at, like, what is this actually showing about my heart? Because, like, so much resentment can come from unhealthy giving. So much resentment.
And
I mean, when we give
and,
to our kids, or if we give to somebody who, you know, we think we're helping, but then when we look at it later, if something crops up where, like, I have a resentment towards this person, and then I realize, like, oh, you know, I remember one time somebody said to me, I gave $20 to a guy, like, who was asking for money on the street, but then I saw him later buying something that, like, they didn't
buying
approve
some
of.
booze.
Yeah, and so I was like, that is exactly shows the heart of giving. Like, that you actually have to be able to give with an open hand and not expect anything in return.
Because people, because I give money to people on the street or whatever, because I feel like it's part of, it doesn't matter to me what they do with it. But then people would criticize me about that. But then it's the same people that, like, being in church and ministry, the people that give a couple thousand a month actually have say. So it's no different than them giving money to and expecting this to happen.
Well,
and if I know that they've given money, we're very hesitant on confrontations because, you wouldn't want to lose them as a tither, or they donate money so we can't confront, or whatever. There's so much to
Parents
this.
do that with their kids too.
Parents, oh my goodness.
Parents do that with their kids. Kids do that with their older parents. I think that it's just something we should really, like, pay attention to and check our hearts.
When I read the book Boundaries about parenting, and the one part that struck me the hardest, because I went into that book thinking I was an average parent, like, not great, but, like, average.
Yeah.
And I made up for lost time, I think. And then I read this book, and I'm like, I failed as a parent horribly. And they get to the part where don't pay your kids. And I was like, well, what? Like, that's how I got them to do everything, by paying them. You know, a toonie here, a $10 bill here, cut the grass. Because basically you're telling them you don't belong in the family. You're not part of the core of the family, and we're a village.
I disagree, but that's such a big
Well, I'm not going to disagree with Dr. Clout.
Our adult child, from the time, remember, he graduated and then he was working, has
parents
contributed.
pay for goals in
he
hockey.
Has contributed to the family, and he has
that's what we turn
part of the family, and
we're going to extra innings on this one. I'm sorry, we try to keep these short, but you get talking about money. There's a lot there. What you have a grip on has a grip on you. All right. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at the virtual gala.
7:30 p.m.